One. Greetings, my friends. Mark Hoverson, ready to rock and roll with you. If you're watching the recording, you know you're watching the recording. If you're live, you know you're live. We're going to be interacting on my public Facebook page, crowdsourcing a bunch of our to-do lists together. You're going to have ideas. And one thing I want to encourage you to do is not be scared about the heaving waves of stuff that's going to pop into your mind over the next probably 15 days. You will literally begin to look at life different. You will be able to see things, and your eye will look at them, and they'll zap, and you'll be like, I'm going to get that done. Raise your hand if that's already started happening, just based on the free information and just based on what's been going on already. I've been getting reports of people who've been cheating on their $1,000,000 days like I have. I've been getting a bunch of stuff done so I can really get a bunch done on my $1,000,000 days that are coming up. So we got Leslie, we got Kathleen, we got JC, we got Jess, we got Gary, we got 50% of people that are saying they're already zapping. So I want to give you the deep base of what a $1,000,000 all in, all out, full, everything you got, get it done attitude will do for you on a very grand scale. So as I was sharing before I hit record, when I got started in the business, I qualified for welfare. I had a $250 used computer. I started my business on a kitchen table. I had no connections, but I knew from 8th grade on that King Solomon, the richest man who ever lived, wrote these proverbs, and I used to classify them. So I'd read a proverb, and if it was about speech, I'd put an S by it. If it was about relationships, I'd put an R by it. And if it was about business, I'd put a B by it. Never thought I'd be a businessman or anything, but when I kicked into business, I would go to these proverbs because they were my only mentor, and I would imagine that I was in King Solomon's temple, literally the temple that he built, and University of Illinois in 1928 guesstimated the value of it was $500 billion in today's value back in 1928. But so we're talking about a $500 billion mansion of mansions. And I imagined I would sit at his throne as the wisest man who ever lived. People would travel all over the world. Kings would come and throw gold and silver and bring monkeys and myrrh and incense and everything before his feet to hear his wisdom. And I would imagine that he was whispering these proverbs directly into me. And then I would imagine what would they look like if I did them and if they manifested. So when this one came up, the hand of the diligent will rule. Here's this idea of diligence. I've studied this frickin' verse for 5 years. The idea of diligence is speed. Okay? Raise your hand if you got me. It's about speed. Diligence is fast. It's fast. It's fast. It's just all out fast. The other thing is, it's the idea of efficiency. Okay? So it doesn't mean busybody, because other places in the scripture, a busybody is looked down upon. They're busy, 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 but they're not getting anything done. So efficiency, speed, and here's a big one. Resourcefulness, which is also with efficiency. But the biggie that I just realized studying a Jewish scholar this week was he says the major word there is the determined. And I thought that was crazy. So he translates this, the hand of the determined will rule. And when you come into this $1,000,000 day that we're getting ready to, and you have the determination that, okay, I'm not going to start it and it's not going to get done. I'm going to start it and I'm determined that it's going to get done in this $1,000,000 day before I hit my head to the pillow, and you have this determination attitude, you will see completion of so much stuff. And when you see completion, your mind's going to open up. You're going to receive better ideas. And then here's what's crazy. I believe, this is what the verse is saying. Raise your hand if you're with me on the diligent part. If you get it, it's about speed. It's about resourcefulness. So some of you are going to look at this to-do list and you're going to say, this is impossible. Well, you're going to recruit your husband. You're going to recruit your wife. You're going to recruit your kids. You're going to recruit a handyman. You're going to recruit a cousin. You're going to recruit people, possibly, to help you nail this thing out. And that's part of the efficiency. So it's not just busy, 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 you working like a feverish bee. It's about smart work, efficiency, and then determination. I'm getting it done. There is no stopping me. I'm completely unstoppable. You can't stop me. And when you start the day with this attitude, and then you get the piece of hate mail, or you get the customer refund, or you get the annoying affiliate, your attitude is already set. I'm determined, nothing's stopping me. Raise your hand if you got me. This is huge. This is how you change the world. This is how you change your life. This is how you change every single thing in the world. Now, here's a little side note as a break from that real quick. is, let me tell you the results of this kind of thinking. And I still have lots of things to do in my life, but as I showed earlier, this is my inbox, and I became determined. So all these things you can see, these are all $37 buyers, plus the upsells don't show up, so we have about 10 to 15% of people taking the $197 upsell. These are all income. It came in throughout the day, the entire day. You can look at it. It just over and over and over. These are a batch of upsells that came through all day long. See this? That sheet is almost all sales. This day is almost all sales. They've been going on. Sales have been constantly. But here's what I want to let you know. When you become prolific, this isn't the only money I'm making. I co-own a company because I came so determined to co-own it that today I made as much in a company doing nothing whatsoever, zero, nothing whatsoever, zero, nothing, as I made with this. And this is a heaping on top. This is a prolific. It's a multiple stream of income. Raise your hand if you feel what I'm saying. You become so good at something that pretty soon when you move into prolific and you get all the crap off your back, you start to build and you build, and this is how you build an empire, my friends, and you really can do it. Now here's the other thing. In my other inbox, I have a legal form from a lawyer of a partner that I'm completely silent in, who's going to be launching a company that I have 5% stake in as a totally silent partner, simply for consulting the structure of how the company flows, how to put together the offers. And my point is this. When you get all these things I'm talking about and you make a determined effort that everything in my life is going to get done, opportunities start crashing in on you like you would not believe it. They literally seize you. They tackle you. It becomes so amazing. But let me get back to this, and then we're going straight into the $1 million day. Let me get back to this thing. So we got this whole concept of the diligent, which means determined, resourceful, going for it. Now, here's the crazy part, and this is the promise for you. The hand of the diligent will rule. Here's what that means. That means you are going to be a leader. That means you are going to be a market mover. When you send something to your list, people move. It's a position of influence. This is influence in the community. It's crazy. Once I got into this productivity, all of a sudden I saw myself, and this is my small little 350 person town in North Dakota, so I'm not saying this is a huge deal, but all of a sudden when I became productive, I had the resources to fund and help design our annual Manville Days Festival. It's like Mardi Gras for my little town in North Dakota. And I realized that at a table with just a couple guys, we pretty much designed the experience of 3 days for people that would be flying in from all over the country to come back home. We designed the band. We designed the flow of the day. We designed everything. We literally, in a sense, ruled. And it didn't mean like rule like oppressive. It meant rule that you will become the influencer over how your company moves. You will be the influence over, not just over your kids, but over other people's kids and over over entire companies. You will structure and design offers and ideas, and my gosh, it gets crazy. But here's the thing. It's a result of the determined, the diligent, the resourceful attitude where you put your hand to that, and then you have rulership, which is freedom. It's beautiful. Raise your hand if you're with me on the rulership part. This is you're a culture bearer. You create the culture. What is the church programs going to look like over the next 6 months? They're asking you because you can get stuff done. You are in the market. You are rubbing, face to face with people, and you're the one to go to find out how to do things. You become that person, and all of a sudden the influence is just incredible. It becomes crazy. Now, next part. But the hand of the slothful. The idea of sloth is just slow, just kind of putting it off. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It just means kind of slow. Raise your hand if you're with me on slothful. It just means, yeah, I know what to do. I'm just, tomorrow and later and, somebody else will do it maybe, or I don't know, I can't do it, low self-esteem, all these stupid things. But the hand of the slothful will be put to forced labor. And in my mind, when I would imagine the movie of this verse happening for my life, I imagine if I didn't take action on ideas that came into my head with everything I had, for me, forced labor meant a job. It meant, and I literally, before I was an entrepreneur, I would have to raise my hand as an adult with a child, raise my hand and ask my supervisor if I could go to the bathroom. Okay? I can barely imagine that this was my life, but it actually was. I was a married man raising my hand asking if I could go to the bathroom. They would give us 10-minute little breaks and they'd say, be back in your chair if you're not back. Oh my gosh, I had the worst jobs in the world. But for me, forced labor meant living under somebody else's schedule, only having 2 weeks of vacation, having a ceiling on my income, and having somebody else dictate my time, my resources. Almost forced labor is the idea of slavery. Okay, that's the idea. In America, slavery not so much, but trapped. Trapped, yes. Trapped, showing up to a place you don't want to be, doing a thing you don't want to do with people you don't really care to be with. It's a better than slavery, but gosh, it is bad. Raise your hand if you're with me on this stuff, if you're feeling me. So here's what's at stake. What's at stake is literally your legacy, your whole legacy, your whole existence of day to day, how you function, how people respect you. When you're a ruler, you can walk into a room and it's not that everybody's going to worship you and glorify you, but the respect that you get and that you deserve because you're so diligent, and through your diligence you collect so much wisdom that you're an outpost for people. People will come to you from all over. I mean, it's thrilling stuff. So I believe that this kind of stuff was going to happen into my life. And I believe tonight and in the next 12, 15 days, this kind of stuff and breakthrough, getting past procrastination, moving into productivity, getting everything done with productivity, and then moving into prolific, where you've got multiple streams of income hitting, you've got multiple projects, cool partners, you're getting invited all over the place, ideas are bumping, you have an idea, you execute it so fast. Just this little journal thing is a 5-figure thought I had a week ago. It was a thought, and it creates a quick 5 figures. I mean, raise your hand if you're with me on just the potential, and then I'm done and we're going right into it. All right. So I love you guys. I'm getting a lot of love, a lot of interaction. I appreciate it. So without further ado, this is how this party is going to go down. Okay, I'm not going to save that. I'm going to go into the Be Prolific. Now, here's how this is going to go. You're going to have about 3 days. You're going to have up to 3 days to get your $1 million days done. What I'm going to do right now is take you through kind of a jogger list of a bunch of stuff, example case studies from, we have a lot of people on here that are going to share as well from the public page here in a minute. But inside the bonus page, right down at the very bottom, so there's the super productivity secrets. At the very bottom, we have our graduation link down there, but it says report your completed results at the link below. Please note, after your first $1 million day, report to this link. Then after your second $1 million day, come back to the same link and report again. And then your third $1 million day, come back and report a third time. But before I go through the exhaustive list, I am going to share a couple things. My wife and I are going to share a couple things for our $1 million days coming up over the next 12 to 15 days. So raise your hand if you want to hear from Shani and I. And I want you to be jotting down. Everybody should have a piece of paper because we might give you some ideas to add onto your list. And don't be scared of your list. Seriously, don't be scared of that thing saying, oh, it's going to get too big. I shouldn't set this up. I'm setting myself up for failure. Literally, I want your mind to be trained to attack every undone thing possible and learn how to just metabolize it and eliminate it and execute it and get done. And you're going to live in a whole different plane. So raise your hand if you want to hear from Shani and I. She came up to me at supper and she was like, Mark, I got my list going, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And she started cheating on her list already. So, honey, we've got enough love for you to come on out. So, honey bunny. All right. So Shani's making a rare appearance. So Shani's got her Solomon CEO journal that, she has hers, I have mine, Isaac has his, we all have our journals. But Shani, why don't you just share with us, and get your own little journals. But this is from Shani, more from like a household perspective. Maybe there's some business stuff in here. But rock and roll with a quick minute of it. I'll share a few things, and then we're going to start crowdsourcing, going through the exhaustive list together, and we're going to get a lot of ideas bubbling. So Shani,
okay, some of the shorter ones, organize and clean the garages.
Okay, now organize and clean the garage. How long has that been on your mind? Because when we report, just so you know, in the reporting section, you're going to see this link, okay? And I'm hoping my screen is showing. I believe it is, right? Okay, it is. At the very bottom here, we're going to go through a health list, and it'll say like scheduled chiropractor session and how long it's been on your mind for 5 months. We're going to take up the accumulative, and I think this group is going to achieve more than 500 years worth of crap that we're going to do as a community together very soon. So, okay, organize and clean garages. How many months?
3 months.
3 months. Okay, go on. Next.
Um,
Oh, medicine cabinet.
Medicine
How long's
cabinet.
that been on your
3 months.
mind? She already
Organize.
cheated though. She already did that. I know. Like the medicine cabinet was just a it was just a plum. It was like the horn of plenty of just crap and cough syrup and
Band-aids.
band-aids, and they were just it was just like a tornado in there. 3 months that's been sitting eating her mind. Now she wants what's crazy is Shani is moving into business now. She started working some leads, she generated some leads, she almost had a GRN sale, really proud of her. But she's got all these little knick-knack paddywhack bullshit in her mind because of these things, and this is what this day is going to do. So, okay, medicine cabinet next.
Okay, yes. Organize the nightstand. 4 months.
Okay, so
Organize.
our nightstand next to our room. It's again, there's just like papers, there's like mail. It just looks like crap. 4 months.
Okay. Organize under the bathroom sinks.
Bathroom sinks. I mean, shampoo bottles with this much shampoo in it. Raise your hand if you're feeling like these kind of things. They're in your life too, and they're just kind of annoying, and they're just eating bandwidth. And some of you young guys right now are like, "Gosh, that just is normal to me. Who cares that everything's a mess?" But I'm telling you, I didn't get wealthy until I treated my $1,200 car like it was a Mercedes-Benz. It was spotless. My $1,200 piece of crap car became absolutely spotless. And as it became spotless, and as my life order began to enter my life, my mind began to, well, it was synergistic. As I began to have an ordered mind, my life began to be ordered. But as I saw order, my mind was able to be ordered. So very key point. So nice end.
I've been wanting to list and sell our dirt bike.
Okay, so we have this dirt bike. It's annoying. The kid, it's too big. It's too small for the kids. It's sitting in our garage. It smells like a piece of gas. We don't use it, and it's sitting there. How long have you been thinking about this?
About 3 months.
Okay, so here's the thing. On $1,000,000 day, though, this isn't like a long, drawn-out 60-day to-do list. I was telling Shani, this is like get your ass up. If I apologize for the swearing, everybody, but who cares? This is like getting up at 5 a.m. This is like a non-stop day. Raise your hand if you get the idea. This isn't like a never-ending to-do list. This is like on a single day, I'm going to take a huge chunk of this, and I'm going to plow through it at a pace of a tornado, and it's going to scare me, but by the time I'm done, it's going to shock me. So you can list that on eBay. That's been 3 months.
Okay, clean up my email account.
Okay.
That's been 5 years.
5 years she's had this piece of crap email account. And raise your hand if you've been thinking about cleaning up your email account for a long time. So this is 5 years. So just what you've done with we're probably at, with the 5 years, that was a nice bonus. We're probably at about 7 years just right now. A couple more biggies.
Passports for the kids, about 3 years.
Okay, so here's the thing. We love to travel. And kids' passports, it's just kind of one of those deals that doesn't show up. It's an easy thing. You can expedite it overnight if you wanted to for like $125. But by not having these passports, when I get the idea, like we talk about, let's go to Italy, let's bring the kids to Europe, in the back of our mind, why don't we move forward with the idea? And why can't we act quick on the idea? It's because we don't have the passports. And by doing this stuff, you're inviting the vacation. Raise your hand if you follow me. That's 3 years of getting those passports. And all you got to do is go to Walmart, snap the little passport thing, submit it, and I mean, that's it. But it's been 3 years on the mind. The Hotmail thing has been 5 years on the mind. We are going to, as a community, wipe out over 500 years together. And I think just between you and I, we might do it. All right, raise your hand if you're getting some value from Shani's little list. And then we're going to go through specifically. But the passport thing was huge because for me, that was like, that's why we haven't done that international trip with the kids. Is because we haven't got this. Like I have deals to Mexico that we could just race down there, and then we go, oh yeah, we don't have the passports, and we just knock the idea out. So this is going to create and invite a more exciting life for us. A few more.
One more big one was the car title. Once we had the car paid off, never switched it from the bank to our name. So
how many years?
5.
5 years. We paid off the caddy cash, right? I didn't know about this until like supper. But 5 years. So who's got the title? Where is it?
Well, it'll be ours.
Well, where is it though?
We have the title. It just has the bank's name on it versus ours.
You see this kind of crap? I'm embarrassed right now. All right, give me another. So that's 10. That's like 10, 12 years right there. Go on.
Gracie's greeting card business.
Okay, so Gracie, Isaac has done lemonade stands, and I really have a heart for entrepreneurial kids as much as probably anybody. And Gracie's really good with drawing. She draws in just a really cute, legible, fun kid way. And about 6 months ago, I was like, you know what? When Valentine's Day comes up, we should have her own little business on Fiverr so she can do custom, like people would import two photos of the lovers, the two lovers, and then she would cut it out and create kind of a fun body and a heart and like, Happy Valentine's Day, and make a custom thing. So it'd be fun, I think, as a Valentine's Day gift to give to your lover a handmade color crayon card. Raise your hand if you think there's a little bit of viability. And when you're six, seven cards a week is you're rich as a 6-year-old. So this idea has been sitting in our heads for 6 months. And all it would take, literally, is shooting about a 2-minute video of a sample card and instructions on how to buy and what you want. And all I'd have to do is put a little classified ad on the bottom of one of my emails, P.S., and Gracie could probably have a 3-figure business in her first month. But 6 months have gone by and we haven't done any of those things. Now on the $1 million day, I'm going to put you in charge of getting the example card, the exact instructions, because that's not something I'm going to be doing. But holding that back, and Gracie's asked at supper for months. She's like, Dad, when am I going to get my business? Like, her hands are tied because of her undiligent parents. No muss.
And then Isaac keeps making money with Fiverr.
And Isaac said, what is he up to? Like 70?
70 bucks.
70 bucks. So we started Isaac on a business, and it changed his life. So anyway, so he's so happy. Shani, love you. All right. All right, let's get back to, raise your hand if you got a little bit of value out of that. Now we're going to start crowdsourcing stuff, and we're going to get crazy. And here's how it goes. So if you go to, actually, you don't even have to go there right now, but this is on the link on the bonus page. Here's how it's going to go down. You're going to put your first and last name. You're going to put your best email. And are these the results of your first, second, or third $1 million day? So all you do is put first there, and then the date that you're reporting. So this survey is completely for results. It's not for stuff you're going to do. It's not for stuff on your list. It's for completed or commenced activities. Raise your hand if you're clear with me on that. Like, it's for done. This is for done stuff. And then here's how it's going to go down. I'll review it real quick. We'll start crowdsourcing it, and I'll tell you the vision here in a second. So number 5 is completed health list along with, so I'm itemizing it to give us a little bit more clarity on just alleviating some of the burden, and I want your list to be really, really deep. So if you got a pen, start jotting down some stuff right now, because we're going to start getting a little crazy. And on the Hoverson public page, we're going to start this health, your health to do ideas for a spur to other people's to do lists. All right, so this is under health alone. I'm going to read off a couple of them, and then you can start crowdsourcing, and you can come back to here to help build your list, because obviously we're not going to be able to build a full out, tricked out list today. But here's a few that I just gave as examples. So for health, I've got example, scheduled a chiropractor session. You've been thinking about it for 5 months. Your lower back hurts. It doesn't need to hurt. Your ankle hurts. It probably doesn't need to hurt. If your hands hurt, they probably don't need to hurt. If your neck is tight, it probably doesn't need to hurt. Now, you don't have to actually go on the $1 million day, but you have to get it scheduled. Raise your hand if you're following me with the heart of this thing. You actually schedule it. You get it in the books. And for some of you, it's not going to the chiropractor. It's actually getting an x-ray of your back. Something's off with your back. A simple trip, just like a dental x-ray, they can look at your back and say, oh my gosh, this is what you got to do, this is how you got to do it. It could literally change your life. So as an example, scheduled your chiropractor appointment, and it maybe was 5 months. And on the Hoverson public page, as ideas bubble up for you, feel free to do it. Scheduled dental appointment. Some of you, it's been lurking in your mind for over a year that you haven't seen the dentist. I will tell you, the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you, and it's going to chip away at your efficiency, and you're going to be working in vain, because you're going to be paying for something that you could have prevented this week by going. I'm telling you. And this might even be like, some of you might say, well, I know I've got to get these crowns, or I don't even want to know how much it's going to cost. I was with a friend one night, and he put some like he put some like tooth pain thing on there, and I said, John, we'll call him John. I said, John, why aren't you going to the dentist? You have a hurt tooth. He said, well, I know I've got so much problems. I can't afford the dentist. I said, okay, I will pay for your visit. So you find the dentist, I'll call him with a credit card. I'll pay for your visit and your x-ray, and we've got to just see what's going on. So he goes, and I didn't follow up all the way, but I'm pretty sure the dentist came up with a kind of monthly doable plan to start dealing with the major teeth first and slowly chipping it away. And this kid's mouth is almost 100% clean now, even though he thought he didn't have the money to even deal with it. Raise your hand if you see how diligence and determination and just getting it out, just getting priced out. You think your teeth are going to cost 8 grand? They might, but they might have a payment plan and some kind of thing that you don't even know about. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is just in health. So it could be braces, it could be anything related to dental. Okay, getting a 60-minute full body massage. Some of you have been thinking about getting a massage forever and you haven't got one. You should get one. It will reset you. It's almost like turning off your computer that's been working too hard, letting it restore, relax, and some of my very best thoughts come on the massage table. I'm literally on the massage table and I'm like, bingo, I got it. You cannot afford to not get a massage. And maybe your spouse gives it to you. I have my kids. I give my kids $1 to walk on my feet, to take their elbows and press into my feet and then into my hands and walk across my back and massage and all over. I pay my kids to do it, and then I get it professionally, and then I have somebody professionally too. So that's an example. Kids' physical checkups, whether it's physicals, whether, your kids, you got to get them checked out, and you might be surprised and say, "Oh, we don't have the money. We don't have." Don't let yourself live in that space. Just go. I'm telling you, just go to the dentist, and it'll get figured out. It's the act and the determination that, hey, it's going to work out. It's going to happen. I don't know how. I don't know how, but we're going, and somehow we're going to get stuff done. Raise your hand if you get the mindset there. You don't. So many of us mythize this whole health issue, thinking that, we don't have all this money, we can't budget in, oh my gosh, it's going to be worse than we think. You're going to feel better than you ever felt before. Your body's the only place you have to live. Thank you, Jim Rohn. And you got to take this diligence over your body like massively, massively serious. Okay, we're almost off health. Scheduled appointment to price out the cost of a mommy makeover. Some of you have been sitting there for 4 years, for 5 years, you moms, and you're thinking to yourself, I'd like a mommy makeover, which is like a tummy tuck and this and that and kind of all these different, gadget thingies that they do to bring you back to pre-baby stage. Some of you don't care, but some of you it's been on your mind. Raise your hand if you know people. It's been on their mind for like 5 years, 10 years. Maybe I should go do a mommy makeover. I don't know. Well, it's going to be too expensive. Did you know all you got to do is they'll do a free consultation? You have no idea. And then they might have a payment plan that stretches over 5 years. And for literally a couple $100 or something a month, you can feel the way you've been wanting to feel and look for 10 years. I'm telling you, if it's been on your mind, just check it out. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying just get it scheduled, get it checked out. There's a million other things you can do here. But in the public page, anything else under health that you can share, throw it in there, because let's just take a look. I want to see what we got. Health. Okay, we got it. Swim each time. Yep. Annual checkup, kids to the dentist, new gym membership. That's huge. Move earlier in the day, exercise, and on your $1 million day, you can make it a goal to eat perfect. Why not like losing weight, losing weight or getting trim or having energy and all this stuff is, if you like get determined about it, there's so much information by men's health, by women's health, by beauty health, by fitness health. There's so much data, and there's so many easy things that your mind will just naturally realize. If you start the morning with steel cut oatmeal and a little bit of blueberries and some natural honey and a little bit of eggs and a banana, you're good. You've got your fibers, your carbohydrates, your proteins, and you're going to feel good. And then if you exercise and sweat it out and take some supplements, your skin's going to get better, your face is going to, it's such a science. There's really no shock and awe to it at all. It's completely scientific, and you'll get to know your body better, blah, blah, blah. Okay, dentist appointments, schedule physical, set up equipment, son's orthodontist, go to the gym, go to the chiropractor, full body massage, knee exam, and new gym membership, start, blah, 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 heat, steam, schedule, aunt who's, okay, awesome. Yeah, so schedule a session with my aunt who's a naturopath. Eric's been thinking about it for 12 months. Zap that out on your $1 million day, call her, get it scheduled, done, period. All right, so that's just on the health. There's probably, I know there's a lot more with health, but we're going to move on to another section real quick. I want you to really get serious about your health because it's super cool. Now, when you report, again, the key is that you report how long this stuff has been on your mind, and you report one day at a time in here. So don't report all 3 days at once. So number 6, complete household list with the approximate amount of time it's been on your mind. For instance, change the light bulb in the bathroom closet, 3 weeks. Change the light bulb in the bank porch or in the back porch. Let me put this household list. Household list of things to complete. Okay, we'll call it, instead of to do, we'll call it complete. You can go under that. Let's just jog the memory real quick and get a little crazy on this thing. Change the light bulb in the bathroom, 3 weeks. Change the light bulb in the back porch, 2 months. Clean out the junk drawer. Sometimes people think years about cleaning out their junk drawer. They never do. Cleaning out their office drawer. I'm telling you, your office and the surroundings of what is in your drawers, even though they're not visual, if you have receipts from 3 years ago and you have all these chewed up pens and you have all this crap, you got to learn to clean that space, because everything is about inviting. You've got to be able to invite. So if your bookshelves are packed with books you will never read, that you don't even like, that they're just sitting there in disarray, when you take those books out and you get them to Goodwill or you give them away, you're literally inviting new knowledge into your life, fresh streams of knowledge. You're inviting like new statues, new awards, new certificates. You're inviting all this stuff into your life. We talk about the law of attraction. I prefer the law of invitation because I think it's just more, I think it's more quantum. I think it's just more how it actually is. But you invite this stuff. Raise your hand if you're with me on this. You take all these old books, you take all this old crap, and it starts packing up. Some of you, your desks are loaded with crappy 2-cent pens. They're loaded with chewed up pencils. They're loaded with old receipts, old this, old that, and you wonder why new stuff and new goods and new physical realities and fancy pens and receipts with like stuff that you want to buy isn't showing up. It's because you're operating at critical mass. The bandwidth is being, the psychic energy is being drained by all this BS. I'm telling you, this is the deep stuff. I started to take it extremely seriously. I started to take it crazy seriously. Under our bed, it was just this year, Shannon and I have been married 10 years. For 10 consecutive years, we have talked about sleeping under a completely clean bed. So there's the space and there's nothing but carpet and everything is clean. There's nothing under there. There's no photo albums. We used to keep our bills under our bed. That's where we kept our bills. Oh, gosh. And you wonder why. I will tell you, with just cleaning that space underneath your bed, raise your hand if you, doesn't it feel good to have an idea of nothing under your bed at all? Just totally, completely clean. Completely clean. We send kids under there now. And I will tell you, your sex life will pick up. You will sleep better. The energy, I mean, stuff contains energy. It is. Everything is energy. Okay, I don't want to get too Jonathan Budd on you here, but I'm telling you, the decluttering of this crap, I want you to magnetize on this household list every possible nook and cranny of your property, any area of it. If it's in a corner, if it's in the upper attic in the garage, I want you to imagine that you live in a completely done house and property. It doesn't mean that you have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to have everything done, but it means that every nook and cranny of that property is clean, it's ordered, and it's as good as it can be given the circumstance. Raise your hand if you feel me on that. Some of you think, by hearing what I just recommended, some of you think that's not possible. That's not for me. You haven't seen my garage. You don't know how bad of a pack rat my wife is. You don't know how crazy my husband is. You don't know. I do know. And I can tell you, there is hope. Declutter it. Get rid of it. And you will open up space to deserve more. You will invite more stuff into your house. I promise you this stuff. Oh my gosh. All right, so on the household list, let's see what the public page has to say. We were doing some other, let's see, public page. 18, throw out old software. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Closets dejunked and organized. Leslie, no, you have to wake up at 4 a.m., sweetie, and you're working all day, all night. I don't care. You can have your husband or boyfriend or a cat drive the kids to school. I don't care. Sell a few of your computers. Chris, how many computers do you need? I love it. I love it, Chris. List those stupid computers. The thought of an old computer to me is so atrocious. I can't even fathom. In fact, when, when my boy Brett, my apprentice, we started spending a lot of time together, and he had this old, like Dell. It wasn't even old. It was like a year old, but it was a Dell like laptop, and I was like, I don't even want to be in that thing's presence. You get that thing away from me. I don't want to touch it. Don't show me anything you're looking at on this computer. It's old. It's a piece of crap. It's not the energy I want even vibrating around me. Get it away from me. And some of you are hearing me and you think I'm crazy, and I don't blame you at all, but I am telling you, when you start setting standards, like, I will not touch that crap. It's like it's like an unclean, filthy animal to me. I will not touch those kind of things. Get rid of those computers, Chris. Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. Clean the laundry room. 18 months. Jess has been thinking about the laundry room. Stack of paperwork. Oh my gosh. Get it out of there. 6 months to purchase light bulbs. This is so typical. Organized kitchen pantry, clean girls closet, 8 months, purge files of date. For us, one of the things for us was let me read a little more from this one. Household list, cleaned out the junk drawer, fixed the doorknob. I have back at my North Dakota office for 3 years. I have a chiseled glass H. That's a beautiful door. It's a very fancy door. The doorknob is missing. So we just shut it enough and it just shuts, but there's no doorknob. It has been there for 3 years. Why I haven't had my uncle, who's a handyman, just go pick up a doorknob, a nice one, and put it on there is beyond my wildest dreams. But that is a definite to-do list for me. I got to write that one down while I'm thinking of it. Doorknob for my North Dakota office. Thank you, everybody. Doorknob for ND office. We haven't even got to making money yet. We've just got to creating an environment where creativity is going to flow, new ideas are going to flow, new gifts are going to flow. I'm telling you, we have new gifts. I mean, people send us gifts all the time, and I just believe, I don't know, I can't say I know, but I can say I believe that it's when I started getting rid of anything that wasn't useful or nostalgic in a meaningful way, I would get rid of it. And all of a sudden, some of you ladies and some of you guys want a brand new wardrobe. You want to look stylish. You want to have a makeover. Here's how you attract that. You get rid of the crappy clothes that even looking at it disempowers you. You look at that piece of clothing and you feel disempowered. You look at that old shirt and you think of that old boyfriend, or you think of that old girlfriend, or you think of those times in that place, in that dark cloud, and you still have that. You want to bring in brand new clothes? I will tell you, it's the cart before the horse. Get rid of the clothes. Create an energy where new clothes have to show up. You will have a new wardrobe, and you will generate the money because wardrobe is a necessity. You will rise up to the standard, and you will fill that closet with brand new clothes, brand new shoes. Some of you have shoes that you haven't worn in years. They suck. They're out of style. They don't look cool. You got to ditch them. And all of a sudden, the best new shoes are coming. I'm just telling you, from a wardrobe perspective, and who cares? I mean, I'm a guy, but I'm okay with this. I care. I didn't care for a long time. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to get rid of all these clothes that have any kind of even remotely negative connotation. If I don't love this, if I don't put it on and feel amazing, I'm throwing it away. I'm just throwing it away. I started throwing away heaps of clothes. I didn't even bring them to Goodwill because I didn't even want to burden anybody else with my old clothes. I just threw them away because it felt better to me. And it was about me. Sorry. But it was about me. And then now I'll go to Nordstrom's and drop 14, 15, 2,000 bucks without thinking. And I've got brand new threads. And then I give these threads away to guys that are after a couple wears. I give these $200 shirts to my friends, and it's like awesome. They love this stuff. Okay, raise your hand if you're with me on some of the wardrobe things. Some of you, that should be it. In fact, for me, this on my $1 million day, one thing I wrote down is I have a North Face shirt that I've had for 15 years, and it's so good. Like it wicks away sweat. I've worn it in all sorts of mountains, this and that, but it's gray and it's kind of like really dirt. Like my England hat, I feel powerful when I put that on. It's a good memory, so I'm going to keep that. But this gray North Face shirt, every single time I put it on, I just feel like sloppy, loppy. I just don't feel really good, but it's a great shirt, and it was like $100, and I've got 15 years of use out of it, but I haven't thrown it away, and I'm throwing it away. Okay? Or I might give this one away because it's pretty awesome. But the thing is, that shirt, I look at it, and every time I have those feelings with me. So with this $1 million day, guys, I want you to purge in. I mean, raise your hand if you sense the level of depth of what I'm talking about with the to-do list. This is about a life transformation list. This isn't about, I'll tell you a good book I read. I think it's called Declutter. It's Oprah's buddy, Gail, somebody, like Declutter Your Life, 50 Ways to Throw Everything Out or something like that. It's a really good book. If anybody on that public wall knows what book I'm talking about, by Gail, somebody, Oprah's buddy, write it down because it's a really good book. I've read through it a couple times and it helped me really get this whole purging concept. All right, we got to keep rolling. We got to keep rolling, but let me look under household, other things. Toilet paper so I don't have to seal it in the work bathroom. Toilet paper, I don't care. Energy efficient bulbs. Some of you have been thinking about going green for 5 years. Buy some energy efficient bulbs and just do it. Some of you have fruit in your fridge that's old, the oranges. Come on, you want to eat healthy and feel good and you have old rotting oranges in your fridge or even unedible? Why would you have any piece of anything that's not perfectly edible? Why would you have it in your fridge? It doesn't even make sense. You got to get a standard. I want everybody to raise their standard, get really crazy and psycho about this stuff, and it'll serve you. All right, we got to move on to the next one. Number 7, so here's where we're going, just so you know. We're going with the pre-existing business administration list. Then we're going with the new money-making ideas list. Then we're going with the tech to-do list. Then we're going with the miscellaneous list. And then at the end, number 11, please calculate the total amount of time. This is in writing down what you accomplished and how long it's been on your mind. So you'll say, switch out the old light bulbs with energy efficient light bulbs. And you've been thinking about doing that for 2 years. So you'll say that in 2 years. So you calculate the total of all the things above that your $1 million day helped you wipe out in one day. I honestly, I know for a fact that some of you will wipe out 10 years of stuff in a day. Raise your hand if you believe, just based on what we're talking about, that there might be a 10-year deal for you. This might be 10 years of mental garbage or mental to-do, and it's just gnawing. It's just like a little tumor. It's not like full-blown stage 4 cancer, but it is cancerous. It's not a benign tumor. It's malignant. It just hasn't gotten like fully taking over your life, but it's sitting in there, eating away, gnawing at your psychic energy. So what you do is, and we'll climb back up this list in a minute, but what you're going to end up doing is writing down on the $1 million day the total amount of time in days, months, or years that your $1 million day helped you wipe out. And then please write down and share a paragraph or two about how the $1 million day changed your life, opened your mind if it made you money, share those results if you had emotional payoffs like feeling peace of mind or a restored enhanced friendship or a release of guilt or a new zest for what you can achieve. Please do those too. And then the last one, and then we'll climb back up and go into crowdsourcing some of this stuff, is I came up with this like an hour ago, right before we started. We're going to be selecting a handful of $1 million day achievers. So we have hundreds of people that are doing this, but we're going to select a handful of the $1 million day achievers and mailing them classy heirloom quality recognition diplomas. They're not going to be like the full ones. They're going to be like half. There'll be a cool seal on there. It's just going to be really cool. And it's going to be a recognition diploma for helping us as a community complete over 500 years of productivity, itemized. We're going to wipe it off, and we're going to mail these heirloom qualities. I was Googling all around for the best manufacturer of really legitimate quality, and I'm going to send a handful of you guys these because I know what this concept and this ritual has done for me, and I know we're going to surpass 500 years actually, but we have to hit 500. I think we can go past 1,000 myself, but we might select you. So at the bottom, would you please provide us your best mailing address and your full name as you would like it to appear on the certificate? So that's where this is all heading, just so you know. And what I want to do is I want to be able to have a qualitative kind of sense of achieving. And I think we can do, well, let's do this. So again, raise your hand if you think 10 years, just based on what we've talked about, on how long we've been thinking about certain projects, 10 years. I'm just taking a little gander here. If you raise your hand, oh yeah, Beth and Becky and Aisha and Bridget and Brian and Carolyn and Charlene and Chris and Cody and Demir. No, no, Demir. Not 10 years. Come on, Demir. You're killing me. Matthews, Roberts. Yeah, I mean, I really think we're going to hit 1,000. But we got to do 500. And I want a ton of integrity in this. So don't inflate it. But for real, like Shannon, it was 5 years that she's been thinking about doing this title. It's just lurking in the back of the mind. But hey, and I'll tell you something ironic. You want to know something crazy? We live in an invisible world. Most of what's happening we don't see. But most of our lives, it's happening in the neurological synapses and electricity of our brain. We can't see it. That's one of the most powerful engines, and we don't even get to see it. But there's other invisible things that are happening, and here's what's funny, and it just dawned on me. Shani and I just, over the last couple months, started talking about getting her a brand new Cadillac, brand new Escalade. Nice extended ESV, the whole thing. And I haven't energetically said, yeah, let's do it. I mean, because the other one is running fine. Everything's cool. I like it. It's a great car. But it's funny that it's not an invitation friendly situation right now because we don't even have the title. Raise your hand if you see just a little curious. It's a curious note, isn't it? That there's really no reason for me to not be feeling like, yeah, let's get you a new car. Absolutely. I'm just not vibing on it because I think part of it, it's just the circumstance is not ready. I'm telling you, okay, I'm not going any weirder than I am right now, but I'm going a little weird, and I'll admit that. Okay, okay, so we've got the household list. Let's move on to the pre-existing administration business list with the approximate amount of time. So let's go with the pre-existing business admin. Now I'm separating this into admin because admin is what is going to kill a lot of you. Because if you don't get your admin crap in order, you actually prevent yourself from allowing to create a lot of money because your admin, you know your infrastructure from a legal standpoint, from a tax standpoint, you're not ready for it. And the fact of it is, if you made $1 million, you'd be so freaking lost, you wouldn't know what to do because you're not ready. Raise your hand if you feel what I'm saying. If you made $1 million, yeah, it'd be exciting, but let's face it. You don't know what you do. You don't know what kind of entity you are. You don't know who your accountant would be. You don't know how to itemize. You don't know how to do any of this stuff because you've been putting it off because you haven't been taking your own future seriously enough to get serious about it. So I'm going to say biz admin stuff. And here's just a little jogger of stuff that I came up with. So on business admin, I've got... Okay. Submitted paperwork to become an S Corp. Okay, you guys, most of you should be at least an LLC, but you probably should be a small corporation, an S Corp. Probably costs $200 to become an S Corp. And if you're not, if you want to get audited, let me tell you how to get audited. Be a sole proprietor and do your own taxes. Or be a sole proprietor and just be an entrepreneur. Sole proprietorships are audited more than corporations. Also, if you do your own taxes as a sole proprietor because you think you know it, you are infinitely more likely to be audited. Infinitely more likely. If you're set up as a legal S Corp, you have a third party do your taxes. If you do get audited, they're accountable. Their licenses are on the line. It's way safer. It's way smarter. Some of you, though, don't expect to become big. You invite. If you don't get anything from this training, get this. This is big enough to enlarge my face, my friends. If you don't get anything else from this training, everything is an invitation. You become an S Corp, you get your accountants set up, you get your tax, you just have a knowledge of what's going on. You are now inviting, you're psychologically, and you're actually going to act. You're going to invite so much wealth because you have a foundation that wealth can just stack on, stack on, stack on, stack on. You're a sole proprietor and you've been thinking about getting an LLC, but do you make enough money? Does it even matter? And the facts are you're not taking yourself seriously enough to invite real money. I'm telling you the gospel truth on this one. I've seen it. I've lived it. When I decided I was going to become a corporation, when I decided I was going to seek professional tax help, I did it before I made any money. And by doing so, I invited it. Raise your hand if you feel me. This is huge, gang. I'm telling you. There's a reason that lots and lots of six and even some coming up on seven-figure earners are mentored under my stuff. It's because I actually care about you guys beyond. I do. I care about your lives. I don't want you to make a bunch of. I mean, when I first got started, I sat down with a guy who made $400,000, and then I found out he had a $100,000 tax liability, and he was upside down, and he was living a life of struggling, trying to catch up to pay his freaking taxes because he didn't set it up. I was fortunate to have that story right away when I got into the business, and so it was able to inform me. But I'm telling you, from business admin things, some of you, this needs to be immediate. You go to LegalZoom. There's a million different things. Call a tax thing. Say, I got an entrepreneur. You know what? Yeah, last year I made about $2,000. I know it's not much, but I want to take this seriously. I think I'm going to be in it for years. I know I'm going to break through. Can you help me set up an LLC? Okay. Business admin. So, submitted paperwork, got myself a separate business checking account. Some of you haven't bothered doing that because you haven't taken yourself seriously enough. You have to get a separate business account. If you want to get audited and you want to get screwed and you want the feds to see every dang thing you buy, and oh my gosh, why would you do that? No. Get your own separate account. Scheduled time with a real tax accountant. Applied for a business credit card, 6 months. Some of you have been thinking about getting a business credit card and you haven't bothered. Because you think, oh, my credit's not good enough. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, this is not. Oh, they're going to deny me. Oh, there's no way. Did you know? And some of you are super stressed out about how you're managing your business. And if you had a business credit card with a few $1,000s on it, you could run everything through there. And that literally your tax accountant could just itemize your statement, and taxes become such a breeze for you. I was talking with one of my young bucks, and he literally said, he sent me a text, he said, taxes scare the shit out of me. I said, if I was ignorant and fearful, if I was as ignorant and lazy as you were with taxes, I'd be scared too. Okay? Raise your hand if you're tracking with me a little bit. Oh, man. Gosh, I love this. All right. Anybody feeling the weight of their to-do list growing? Anybody feel like there's a little more maybe than they thought when they came here, that maybe there's a little bit more to do than they first thought? Everybody. So business admin, let's see what we got on the public page here. And thanks to everybody contributing. We've got update. Yeah, Brett, you gotta get set up with the state of Texas. March is done, done before March. Create a consolidated list of login password, 8 months. Rebecca's been thinking about that for 8 months. Stevie, new LLCs for teens in the biz and new EIN. Yeah, EINs for each. Good work. Get the taxes done. Submit my DBA papers to the bank. Yeah, Eric, let's get this done. Tracy, set up the LLC. Check my money buttons to get money to the bank accounts instead of staying into STP or PayPal accounts. Yep. Brent, condense my paperwork files now, blah, blah, blah. And even making steps towards order is good on that day. So if you have stuff all over, how I started is I had an old U.S. priority mail envelope that was one of the big ones. I just put every receipt in there. That was the extent of what my tax record keeping was. Just every receipt for business I just threw in there. But that was the start of order for me. And okay, so admin. Let's move on to the next subject. Okay, money-making ideas. This is a little more fun. Here we go. But what I was telling you is the money-making will flow when some of this other stuff starts getting subdued. Money-making ideas to do. All right. Here we go. Feel free to chime in on there when we're doing this too. But here we go. Place an ad on Facebook, 8 months. So some of you have been thinking about putting an ad on Facebook for 8 months, and you don't know why you haven't. You just haven't, but you should, and you know you should. Some of you are living in the shadows of somebody else. You're dealing with chicken feed of leads, or you pass it. You're not stepping up your game, and you know it, and you're almost getting lulled into just kind of like, oh, I get a lead here or there, I do this or that, or it's okay, I'm making enough. But inside, you don't feel that. You're telling yourself that, but you're not feeling it. And what you want to do is you want to get to a place where the diagolos, that's what thought in scripture in the Greek is called diagolos, and it's a two-way logos, two-way word. Your thinking means back and forth. That's what thinking means. And when your diagolos is dialed in, you're speaking the truth to yourself, and the conversation is all truth. So part of you says, nah, I'm making enough, I'm doing fine. The other part of you says, come on, you don't feel that. Do you really believe that? Or do you feel that that's like a reconstituted laziness coming out of you because you don't want to step up? And the diagolos, the back and forth, the tennis match in your mind has integrity. That's what clean thinking is. So, I don't need to place an ad on Facebook. Well, you probably do, right? Or attempt to sell your first $37 webinar or $37 info product. Or outline chapters of my new book. Some of you have a book that people would read. And you know what? It's not even about the people that would read it, maybe. Maybe it's just about you have to share this. These thoughts and these feelings and your experience, they deserve to express on this piece of paper. They have to get out. They have to get out in a course. They have to get out. Your story has to get out. It just has to. A little theological note. If we're made in God's image, just play this game with me. If we're made in God's image, and His main revelation to share who He is left in a book. It's crazy. It's a book. It's a book. Now, if we're made in His image, did you know possibly the main expression and the best expression of you isn't going to be your picture? It's going to be your book. Now, I don't have a book, but I got a lot of courses and I do a lot of this kind of stuff, and this is an expression of me. Raise your hand if you feel what I'm saying about that best expression of you might be words on a piece of paper for other people. And that's how other people are going to get strength, and they're going to get wisdom, and you're going to save people's lives through your book. You don't even know it yet. You're going to save people's marriages through the story of your hurt and broken marriage. You're going to save a marriage. You're going to create a healthy marriage. All this stuff, you have the book in you. And I'm not saying everybody is feeling like this, but lots of you are. And the longer it doesn't get out, it just is eating up mind space. And worse than that, the conversation in your head when inspiration pops up and says, I'm going to go for everything I can be. This other person says, what about that frickin' book we've been talking about for 10 years? You're not going to do it. You have ideas and you don't take action on them, and you know that. You just sit your little motivated butt down and just suffer in mediocrity. And that's the diagolos that happens in probably 99% of people. Ugh. Raise your hand if you're getting value out of tonight, because I'm bringing everything I got. I'm bringing the whole enchilada to the table. This is huge, guys. This is huge. So just the chapters. It's been 5 years you've been thinking about just the chapters, but just dump them out. Or the info course, or this, whatever it was. With Solomon CEO, I hired a New York Times best-selling author to ghostwrite the thing. And I was like, you know what, you can't capture what I'm after. This is not possible because, I've got maybe too much ego for this deal to have someone else write a book with my name on it. But he said the longer this message stays inside of you, the longer no one's getting helped. So I just said, okay, fine, I'll do an info course on it. And I just started recording these, like tonight is similar to what I did with Solomon CEO. And not only have I made $500,000 or so bucks because of that little idea, people actually, like Brenda, this was crazy the other night when you said, like, I've been hounding Brenda Gagne to go through Solomon CEO for like years. And but what was funny, she said, almost everything has been review, even though I've never seen it. It's because I've spent so much time with you. This is all stuff you always say, but now I know the source of it. See, the course it's an expression of me. And it's the same for you with your books, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to move on. But maybe you're going to host your first webinar. You've been thinking about hosting a webinar for 4 months, 5 months, 1 year, 12, 16 months. But you think, oh, not enough people are going to show up. This and that. What if they say no? Boo, boo, boo. And so you don't host the webinar. If you haven't hosted a webinar, but you've meant to, raise your hand. I'm interested to know how many people have thought of hosting a webinar, but they haven't. Now, in the chat area or in the question area, just shoot me how long you've been thinking of hosting a webinar. Just shoot me in the questions area, not on the public page. I'm not going to read you out. I'm not going to berate you. I'm just for months. Okay, we got 2 years, 9 years, 3 years, friend. 3 years they've been thinking about hosting a webinar and haven't. 6 months. These are great. 8 months, 2 years, 1.5 years, 2.5 years, years, 3 to 5 months, 1 month, 2 months, 2 years, 5 months since last July. 1 year, 11 months, 3 months, 3 years, 8 months, 3 years, 3. I'm telling you, on your $1,000,000 day, get a free go to meeting. Pop out on your Facebook, say I'm doing a 15-minute webinar on the best things I've learned, and at the very end of it say, and here's what I've learned online. I've learned this, I've learned this and this. Here's my affiliate program. I'm really excited about it. If you guys want to work with me, this is what if you join with me, I'll help you with XYZ. Just do it. Like literally 3 years of stuff just solved. And probably more money. And probably more engagement. If you want to really engage, if you want to really deeply engage your people in a deep, meaningful way, sell them something you believe in. That's what you got to do. You got to sell them something you're behind. Sell them something you believe in. You want to engage I'll tell you the worst list response I ever get is when I just dispel information. When I know my list is like a freaking ocean of activity, and it's just like whales are jumping and like sea turtles are swimming and marlins are jumping out of the water and dolphins are making love, and I know my list is crazy when I'm selling. When I'm not selling, my list is just kind of the Dead Sea, just sitting there, dying, slowly, calcifying. You gotta sell to your people. You've gotta sell to your people. Raise your hand if you're with me. You've gotta sell to your people. Just go for it. Go for it. Get good at it. Make it fun. The secret is educational selling. The reason this little mini launch of this concept worked as well as it did because I trained, I taught, right? So it's all been teaching. All right, so business ideas. Are we getting some public page stuff? We're getting some public page stuff here. I'm making it a goal to wrap up in the next 15 minutes, just FYI. Money-making ideas. Here we go. Increase traffic to blog. Now, on your day, here's what I want to reinforce. This is what I want to reinforce. This is not a business strategy forever to-do list. This is $1,000,000 day. This is on that day you're driving traffic like crazy on pay-per-click if you've never tried it. On that day, you're paying and instigating a solo ad. On that day, you're hosting a webinar or scheduling the webinar for the next day or whatever, but you're putting the onus of action and commensurating action on that day. So don't let your mind, because here's what average people do, here's what most people do. They start thinking of everything they have to do and they're like, yeah, I'll get that done someday. Someday. It'll happen. No, it won't. It's not going to happen. This is the hand of the diligent, the hand of the determined, the hand of the fast, the hand of the resourceful. You can get it all done probably in 2, 3, 4 days, or get it started. Like for Shani and I, our will, it's been 10 years. 10. We've been thinking about having a will. We don't have a will. Can you believe that? What nonsense. We have a template. All we got to do is fill it out and start the process. On our $1,000,000 day, guess what we're doing to add 10 years to the pot? We're getting the template done. Doesn't mean we have to be perfectly happy with everything in the template, but it's either we get to decide imperfectly but what we want, or Granddaddy State gets to decide. What's wise there? Probably our imperfect decision versus the state's, right? So we're going to wipe out 10 years on that day. And the will alone is going to be that's a huge value just for me to do this activity. I'm doing this stuff with you guys, by the way. All right, so new money-making activities, secure a joint venture partner and dates to launch. Some of you haven't approached a joint venture partner. You want to, you've been nervous about it. Just try it. You have no idea. A lot of success is like, let's just try it. Let's just reach out, see what happens. I mean, they'll probably say no, but if they said I had no relationship before, I approach them, I have no relationship after. What did I lose? Nothing. In fact, I probably learned how to tickle their ears and get their, I learned how to. Well, for instance, I've had a JV partner approach me and he said, "Oh man, you should. I got this product, and you should do it, and this and that." I said, "Can I coach you real quick?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "When we're playing this game, here's how it works. You come to me and you say, Mark, I know you have this product, that product, this product. You do this, that. How can I promote something of yours?" I said, "You come to me with that kind of proposition. You go make yourself 5 grand and me 5 grand on a little 2, 3 day deal, and all of a sudden." Now I've got a story to share. All of a sudden, I'm for you. Raise your hand if you see how that works. Some of you, you want a joint venture partner. All you do is go to them and say, "Hey, I've got a little list. I'm willing to give it my all. How can I promote? How can I promote your stuff, or how can I rally something for you?" Vincent Ortega, that's what he did. He came to me. He loved my Solomon CEO. He saw it somewhere. He said, "I want to promote this. I want to go hard with it, and we'll just do it. My community will love it." I think I think it was like 10 grand. It was nothing big, but what it was it gave him a chance to work with me and begin to be mentored. And the next month and the month after that, he made like 16,000. Then he made like 30,000. He had his record month after month. I began to support him more. He joined me in my main opportunity. He made a bunch more money, and it all became because he came forward not as a, "Hey Mark, I got this thing, you should promote it. It's awesome." Like a tool. He came like, "Hey, this is what I got, and I can give you everything I got." That's the secret to a joint venture, my friends. All right. Raise your hand if you got value out of that conversation. Because that's for some of you, that's going to be a 6-figure insight. That's going to take you to 6 figures. Just that insight. How can I promote? How can I be in your circle and become completely crafting for kings? Like you're just all you're doing is serving that person. It's wild. So, and it's a win for everybody. All right. Money making opportunities, launch a product, officially approach an investor. Like some of you, maybe you have an investor thing. You just haven't approach the investor. Cash out your 401k to open up more money to invest in your business. Some of you have 401ks and retirement plans and things you've been thinking for the last 2 years. I should go drain that thing, bring it over here as liquid cash, and I should take, really, instead of betting on stocks and companies that I have no idea, that I have a stranger managing that account that I have no idea, that has very little interest in my actual life, maybe I should take all that money and I should hold that money and say, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to bet every penny I have on myself. Every penny. Every penny I have. I'm going to leverage it all on me. That's powerful. You start taking those kind of steps, and you start doing you start getting this diligent, this determined, and all of a sudden the conversation, instead of going, "Oh, you shouldn't leverage on you, because remember that book you've been thinking about doing? Remember, you haven't done that webinar in 4 months. You think we are not investing in us." Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, though. You have this conversation, and it's happening. Oh, you are saying inside yourself, over our dead body, are we going to take all our money and risk it on us? I don't trust us. Oh my gosh. Shani, can you bring me a beer if you're watching this, by the way? This has turned into pure comedy hour for me now. All right. Tech. Okay, this is huge too. The tech world, and the reason I itched out tech here is because tech is the new aquarium that we live in. And some of you aren't playing. And I am the greatest offender of all. I just downloaded my first app in the last like 4 months. Okay, so this is news. This is a new territory for me. But let me tell you a story. And Shani, are you coming or what? Oh, Isaac. Isaac, say hi to everybody. Oh, gee, I didn't know it was open. All right. So Isaac, come here. So I had this dream to get Isaac his own business, and how much money are you at in Fiverr now?
I think it's 75.
75 bucks. His customer reviews have been what?
100.
100%. So he's the highest as you can rank in Fiverr. It's like an eBay voting system and stuff. So I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I am dripping. Okay, so here's the short story, though, my friends. When it comes to tech, I want you to take this real serious because just this week, Shani came in. My wife barely ever shows up into a room and adds drama. We teach all the kids and myself, like when you enter a space, you only are energy in that. You're only vibration, love, peace, joy. You enter a room. You don't enter a room crying. You don't enter a room complaining. You don't enter a room with drama. You don't enter a room with urgency in a negative way. But Shani bust into my room and she was just crying. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And she held our video camera and she's crying. And honey, I know you're watching this, but she's crying and she goes, I thought this was on the tripod and we started recording and it crashed against the cement and it won't turn on and I think I lost everything. And we're talking about grandma praying over Isaac's third year birthday party with hands on blessing him, and people who are dead now, like in our family at parties, and sitting down and during Thanksgiving and sneaking the camera in the corner so we can hear grandma talk about when she was a girl in Texas, and like really precious stuff. We've been thinking of backloading and saving that data onto a computer or onto a hard drive or somewhere. We've been thinking about it for about 5 years. It's gone. It's probably gone. We're going to send it into Sony, see if it can be recovered, but we did that once with this camera and it didn't work, and we lost a vacation. We lost our first family vacation out of it. So my point is, it's not good. You gotta backlog your stuff. So here's an example of the tech. Let me get to tech here. Tech to-do list. Boom. All right. Little emotional story for us all here. Okay. Here's the list of tech. Few things. Cleared out the backlog of my voicemail. I will tell you something right now. If your voicemail is full, well, let me give you an example. I have a friend who is a druggie, okay? I have a lot of friends who are druggies, but I have a friend who's a druggie. I call him, and it'll say, Johnny's voicemail is full. And I'm like, of course Johnny's voicemail is full. He's behind on everything. His life is up to here. It's maxed out. His life is here, and he's coming to grab a sip of oxygen, and then he goes back under. If your voicemail, there should be nothing in your voicemail. You should hear it. It should be written, and it should be either gone or on a to-do or delegated, but it should not be sitting on your phone, because for some of you, this phone weighs 1,000 pounds because it carries 10,000 unanswered emails, like I have. But I don't care about my email inbox, but some of you do care about the fact that you have a huge inbox. Like Jonathan Budd, I'll tell you something. His inbox is at like 1 or 2 emails at a time. This kid gets a lot of emails. He is an immediate responder, or he's a deleter. Like it's immediate or it's delegated. It's so immediate. Like his inbox, for him energetically, his inbox is, it's almost like it's a tank. It's almost just a holding tank of business. So if it comes in, it bounces off. It's like a no-sit zone. It comes, it's deleted, it's gone, it's sent off, it's outsourced, or it's dealt with. Raise your hand if you get it, if you feel that. A lot of people, and so for him, he keeps his inbox at 0. I don't. I have a different feeling on email, but that's just me. So whatever works for you, but voicemails, those should be wiped out. Transfer pics from your phone to your computer. I will tell you, I've lost some precious family pictures because I lost my phone, or I dropped I don't remember what the thing was. I had to get a new phone. I didn't transfer the pictures. I lost some great pictures, and it's too bad. And they're gone. So don't let that happen to you. Some of you have been thinking about going to the store and upgrading your phone for like 6 months. 8 months. Some of you are up for an upgrade and you just haven't gone to the store and done the upgrade. When you do the upgrade, you'll feel better. You'll feel richer. You'll feel cleaner. You'll feel more modern. You'll feel more cutting edge. If you want to be cutting edge, think about this. Again, we're as influenced, and I want you to really capture this thing. And this is why I'm pressing so deep into this stuff. Raise your hand if you sense how deep I'm pressing. Like I'm wanting to press all, like this is a deep tissue massage. I want to go as deep as I can because I want you to understand something that most of us don't understand. Most of us think we work from the outside or we work from the inside out. We think a thought and then we manifest the thought. Most of us think that that's how we're going to change our life. I'm not saying that there's not an element of that true, but I will promise you something. If you change the outside of your life, if you change the surroundings of your life, your inside will match. Okay? That's why for me, like I've got the brand new Mac. I've got wise historic books around me. I have succulent rich plants around me. I have signs of innovation like that propeller up there. I have signs of innovation around me. I have a flourishing, check this money tree out. Are you kidding me right now? This thing, check this beast out. It is a flourishing, beautiful money tree. I used to not be able to keep a plant alive. Now I kind of have a green thumb and I'm really proud of it. But here's my point. You want to be cutting edge. You want to be innovative. You want to be a leader. Surround yourself with innovative products, cutting edge ideas, and symbols that make you feel prosperous. For me, so this hand, it looks a little shiny. My brother gave it to me, but for me, this is above my office, and it's a reminder. I look at it, and in my head, I think God has the entire world in the palm of His hand, and I'm just here for this little ride, and He's in total control, and it's a sense of peace. So I have all of these symbols and emblems and technology and innovation and historical books and cutting edge books, and all of it surrounds me. And it impacts how I feel and how I function. Raise your hand if you get what I'm saying there. Some of you really truly believe that it's all about the inside. Well, I'm telling you, it's about the outside. You clean your car, you clean your bed. Some of you think, oh, I will tell you with your bedroom, just on a romantic level, if I keep bringing sex up, I don't know what's going on, but if you're underneath your bed is perfectly clean, you have some flowers, fresh flowers, cleaned nightstands, and you have like air purifying plants around you. Everything's clean. Your love life will escalate. Your marriage will become more romantic. I'm just telling you, it's outside in. That's why vacation love is so unbelievable. It's because the surroundings are amazing. Usually, you've got an ocean next to you. You've got housekeepers coming and making your beds and cleaning everything. And the surroundings are what create the life. I'm telling you. Ugh, going crazy here. Well, anyway, back to the tech thing. Clear out your voicemail. Transfer pics from your phone. Go to the store to upgrade your phone. Download the guitar app tuner. Like for me, I play guitar. So on my phone, I'm missing all sorts of stuff. On my phone, there's an app that'll tune your guitar, and I thought that's the greatest thing. And I've thought of it consciously for like 5-6 months. Haven't got the app. It costs like $1 or $2. Pathetic. On my to-do list, guitar app. So what are the apps that you've been meaning to get? Like there's apps for hiking trails around your area. You could discover brand new hiking trails. There's an app for that. Some of you go birding and you thought, I want to know a birding app and I want to start plotting down where I spot cool birds on this little thing and have a tech journal of my birding experience, but you haven't done it. Download the apps and also get rid of the apps. You've got some people's phones have 10,000 apps on them and they never use it. Get rid of that. Again, it's all about life being just clean and fresh and all this stuff. Okay. Transfer VHS tapes to DVDs, clean out the worthless tapes, the apps, get new email address. Some of you just, instead of cleaning out your email, you should just get a new email. You've got an email like Barbie is hot 89 from high school. Shanny, I'm teasing you. Smurf 97. She, some of you, it'd just be energetically better for you to get a new email that matches. Well, for instance, when I went from a travel company called Coastal, my old email used to be Happy Coastal. And then I went to a point, I said, you know what? I'm sick of that. I don't even promote that company. So I changed it to Happy Global 23. And I felt new energy around it. So it might be time to get a new email that's less tied to your past. Raise your hand if you sense, this is refined stuff I'm talking about, but I'm telling you, the words you use um, define your email is your name. It's your electronic name. I mean, think about maybe a new email. Just toying with it. But there's all sorts of tech. Let's see if there's any other tech contributions on here. Again, appreciate you guys. I'm having a blast. I don't know about everybody else, but interaction's pretty good on here, so I'm happy. Digitalize old audio tapes from childhood. 10 years Drew's been thinking about that. Set up new domain-based app. Absolutely. Muhammad, upgrade my 2-year-old phone. Definitely. More filters. Google Voice. People not to text that number, yes. Take sermons, messages from various computers, put on CDs. Upload. Business continuity planning. Backups. Yes, you got to have backups. Backup all my... Well, I'll tell you, like the peace of mind that I have. So in my tech world, I have Demir, I have Dan, I have Rob. And once in a while, not often, but... So let's... Demir, and I know you're on it, or you were on here. He sends all the emails. I haven't logged into my Infusionsoft or autoresponder stuff in years. Like I don't even know how. I don't know the password. I have no idea. I haven't sent an email. I type an email, send it to Demir. He plugs it in, sends it, and all this stuff. And I'll tell you what's crazy. I got to a point in my mind where I thought, you know what, who I'm to become and the use of my time, even though it's just typing in a little bit. Oh, gee. Oh, Thompson, you're right. Okay, even though it's just logging in and like copying and pasting and setting a few buttons, I thought, you know what? Those 10 minutes have to go somewhere else. Just the extra added 10 minutes of the function. Now, not everybody's there, but I want you to get there in your mind where someday you're going to be there where someone else can do it. And Demir, being awesome, he outsources the work I send him to somebody else and keeps the profit margin on some of the stuff. I say, I don't care how these videos get edited. You get it. I mean, so he's become entrepreneurial even as a tech lord for me. It's a cool system. So it's about lifestyle freedom. And more people are getting paid, and more is getting done through that little velocity of wealth. All right, let's see. What did we get for autoresponders, CDs, transfer pictures, video, and phone? Let's see. Separate email account for opt-ins. Yes. Get a Mac laptop. Anna, here's what I love about you. Every time we talk, you're buying something new. It's like getting a new phone, getting a new Mac laptop, getting a new purse. Better computer, 10,000 pics to go through, edit and delete. Move mailing list to a new service provider. Yeah, Dave. I mean, Dave, how long have you been thinking of doing that? I mean, seriously, it could be like 8 months you've been thinking about doing that, and you haven't done it. So it's definitely worth. I'll tell you just. Oh man, I'm not even gonna go into it. Let's just keep pressing on. We're almost done here. We're almost done. Again, at the very end, what you do is you go to the bonus page where it's a password protected page. At the bottom, there's the survey. After your first $1 million day, you complete it. Go through the full thing of each category, and then on miscellaneous, I'm just going to speed to miscellaneous here. After tech, blah blah blah. Miscellaneous, called the realtor to get an approximate value of our home. Some of you have been thinking about that. I'm going to put miscellaneous in this area here. Miscellaneous, as though I know how to spell that. I have no idea. I'm so off. The spell check won't even work. Miscellaneous to do. Let me give you a couple examples because this can be all over the board, but again, I want you guys to go really deep. So call a realtor to get an approximate value of our home. Some of you have been thinking about your home price. You've been thinking about selling it, and that's all you've been doing is thinking about it. Now you can actually wipe it out and know a price in probably like a phone call, like a 15-20 minute phone call. It's another story. So you that might be it. You might have been thinking about that for a year. You can get that done. Restore Dad's baseball glove so I can send it to him for his birthday. Some of you, little things like that. Like I have the British Journal of Men's Health is so much cooler than the American version. It's at select Barnes and Nobles has the UK edition of Men's Health. It's just way cooler. It's written cooler. It's got different language, small little subtle languages. And my buddy loves Men's Health, and I've been meaning for a year to buy him an issue. It's like $10. Buy him an issue, ship it to him, and just say, Garth, love you. I know you're going to love this issue. It'll make his day. It'll further just reflect how much I love my boy. All is well. Haven't done it. It's been a year. On my to-do list. Raise your hand if you get the kind of miscellaneous stuff I'm talking about. A lot of this stuff is emotional. You do this, it's going to revolutionize the way you exist because the emotional payoffs become so crazy. Okay. Restore Dad's baseball glove and get it to his birthday. Sent my buddy a book on fathering I know he'll like. So you've maybe been thinking, this book really helped us raise our kids or whatever. You've been meaning to send it to the young parents that you're mentoring, but you haven't. Just send the book. Call my mom just to catch up and talk. Now, some of you, it might be a year. It might be, there might be a little ripple that's just not a big deal to you because you're an adult, but you're still thinking, well, that's mom. And just to call her, not to like relay any like pertinent business information or pertinent like life information, but just call to catch up. That should be, if it's psychically on your mind and you want to do it, it should go on a to-do list, and you can do that. And you can schedule it even. Text her, I don't know, send her an email, I don't know, however, or write her a letter. That might be it. Hey, Mom, been missing you. I know the cat's in the cradle and the silver moon and the whole deal. That's what my dad, whenever Dad wants to sit down and just talk, and I'm busy, and I am busy, but he'll go, cat's in the cradle. That song where the kid ignores his dad. Cat's in the cradle. So that's my dad and I's little joke. But we do. We sit down, we have a cigar every time we're together. He has his cigarettes, I have my cigar. And it's just visit. Nothing else but visit. Okay, if that's on your to-do list, make it a to-do. Send Grandma a heartfelt card telling her how much I love her because she could die soon. Some of you have been thinking about that for 6-8 months, like sending a heartfelt letter to somebody who's going to die. You're just not doing it. Got the details about a real-time commitment to coach my kids' baseball team. You've been thinking about coaching the kids' baseball team or basketball or football. You've been thinking about it for 6 months, but you don't really know the real-time commitment. When's the game's going to be? What's the real-time commitment? How long is the season? Just find that out. Find it out and make a decision. No, I'm not doing it. It's off my mind. Done. Some of you are carrying just too much undone. I'm telling you, it's killing me. Write this down. Got that annoying air leak and my tire's fixed. 5 months. Some of you keep filling up your stupid little tire in the back. It's about a $15 fix. You pull up to Jiffy Lube, you say, or whatever, and you say, hey, I got this leaky tire. Can you just patch it real quick? And they'll say, and some of you are scared, well, they're going to ask me to buy a new tire. Well, tell them just put the patch on for $15. I don't have the money. I don't care. The point is, some of you are just, you're reinforcing a hand-to-mouth existence by fearing finding out the truth. The truth is, yes, you need a new tire. Let's just find out the truth. Raise your hand if you feel me on this stuff. Don't fear the truth. Go after it. Pursue it. Love it. Deal with it. Make it a standard that you live up to it, and even you can't surpass the truth, but that you can become prolific. That's why we're here. How do you become prolific? Get really good with what the truth of the situation is, and then move on. So some of you have these little things, like on my gas, like some of you read the email, on my gas cap, the little springy thing has been out for probably a year, and I have to take a credit card and shimmy open my, it's just embarrassing, it's so ghetto and so unnecessary. So I took it in, and $3,000 of stuff later on my vehicle, I fixed that $50 deal. But my point was, why not find out the truth? Why not find out that the motor needed to reestablish? I mean, I don't care. The point is, get fussy over standards. Make standards, elevate your standards, and all of a sudden, all your income starts getting elevated once your standards are elevated. Make healthy food a requirement. And then all of a sudden money will show up because you'll be inviting it. Money will show up, you'll be able to afford it. All right. Some of you have been thinking of moving to a better neighborhood. You have a dream neighborhood. Right now, it's just a dream neighborhood you want to live in. This is a good one. You locate a specific open house in a dream neighborhood, and you're going to go walk through. You find out, here's the homes for sale in this dream neighborhood across town or in another city, and you find out the open house so you're not haggling and wasting the time of the realtor, but you walk through the dream house. This is Amway stuff, but you got to do it because if it's on your mind, you got to walk through this kind of stuff. There's a lot more. Get your mountain bike tuned up. You've been thinking about it for a year. You haven't done it. Call the garbage company to schedule a bulk pickup. Some of you just need to call your garbage company. Say, bulk pickup. When can I get one? They'll say next Tuesday. And you just start unloading all the crap in your house, your garage, the kids' rooms, everything, and just dump it on the sidewalk. Have them come and get it the heck out of your space. Okay, so in the end, I love that we have nearly 100% of people staying on here right now. I love you guys. At the end of the thing, you got to write all this stuff down. You just got to write it down. It's a long list. Don't be scared though. Don't be scared of this list. Just make the list. And then spend a day, take a big chunk of stuff, an unreasonably large amount of stuff, and say this day, Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday, I'm going for it. I'm all in. I'm going crazy. I might wake up at 6. I might be going all day. Maybe you recruit people to do other things, and kids and spouses and whatever, and brothers and sisters and cousins to rally around to get the projects done. But it's multiple day of hyper productivity because, like I said at the start, the hand of the diligent, the determined, the industrious, the resourceful, and the fast shall rule. You will be the leader in your company. You will be called on stage. You will be the one who the owners of the company, maybe you'll own the company. Maybe the owners will come and say, we want to serve people like you. What should we do? You invite that conversation. That's an invitation conversation. You can call it the law of attraction. I prefer invitation because invitation presupposes work. I love work. Work is the miracle. It's the missing link between where you are and where you want to be. It's this little work chain. It's just a little link. Get diligent and you'll be a leader. And it's just a huge calling and it's really fun to be a part of. Okay, so at the end of the day, you go and you fill out this stuff. I'd love to send you, I'd love to send you a recognition thing for helping us. I'm looking as a group to do 500. We have a couple 200, 300 people in this. It's probably closer to 300. And that would mean that if we get 50% of participation, well, raise your hand if you're gonna go for at least one day. Just raise your hand. I'm curious. Like you're in. You're going for a full crazy Monty day. In fact, you know what? This is it. Say we'll go with the all-in motif since that seems to be popular around here for some reason. Say all in if you know you will complete at least $1 million day before February 20th. Boom. Okay. That's on the public page. And I would love you if you know how to get over to that page. Some of you don't know how to get over there. I wouldn't know how to get over there, but I'll put it in the chat. Maybe it'll help. I keep putting it in there. I don't know if this is working or not. But if you're all in for at least one day and reporting, I really want the report because I think this is going to be the beginning of a movement of I like this afternoon. I saw in my mind, I saw 1,000,000 years that we start, and we're starting it tonight. And I really think this is I think this is going to be part of the Solomon Society starting block. Like the first phase of it is $1 million day and a recording. And I believe that the society, as we grow in time, will have measurably wiped out about 1,000,000 years of procrastination. And I think a lot of people, we're going to be doing it. We're going to be rocking out like Some of us will have 20 years combined in these 3 days. Some will have more than 20 years. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Okay, we got about 36 right now. Let's get at least 100 people on here that are all in. Carol's all in. Justin's all in. Virginia's all in. Glover, all in. Tom, Chris, Cody, Tippler, Craig, I love it. Peter Larson's all in. Drew's all in. Patty Bender's all in. Matthews is all in. Man, that service provider thing, I mean, let's do it. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep getting this. This is key. We're at 47. We got about 145 live right now. We'll have another 100. We'll have as many people watching the recording tomorrow and the next day. But keep it in there and keep rallying the cause here. Refreshing. I'm going to refresh this thing. But here's the next step. The next step, just to be super clear, is, let's see where we're at now. We're at 59. That's what I like. All in, Bonita. I love it. And you guys came out of the woodwork. Krista's all in for all 3 days. I think if you do all 3 days, a lot of you will hit like 20 years. I'd like to hit 1,000 years. I really would. So what you do is you write down the purge. You spend the whole day. At the end of the first day, come to this link, fill the form out, and with as much integrity as possible, but don't feel like you're hyping it either. Like Shani's 5-year Escalade title, that's bull. I mean, that's ridiculous. We got to get that done. But that's 5 years. So write the 2 weeks, the 5 years, the 6 months, like my VHS tapes of us winning the state championship in basketball in 1996. That's 15 years it's been on my mind to convert those to DVDs because they're on these crustable old VHSs. That's going to be, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to call my dad. I'm going to say, find those tapes. I'm going to locate, probably my assistant is going to locate a place in my old hometown that can convert them to a DVD. And then I'm going to call my brother and we're going to have it done. It's just going to get done. But that's 15 years right there. And I think cumulatively we can do over 1,000. Just us. But have as much integrity as you can, but don't minimize the reality of how long you've been waiting to do these things. Get them done in a massive day, at least commenced. For instance, obviously you can schedule the chiropractor appointment, but maybe you don't get in that day. That's no big deal. But everything is commenced. Like the will, we're not going to have a finished, signed, solid, state certified will in that day, but we can commence it officially, send in the template. Raise your hand if you see what I'm saying. Like the action of completion is solidly underway. That's what we're going for here. So you fill all that in, and then what I'd love to see is I'd love to see the total amount of time, and then any breakthrough. I think some of the stuff that's going to happen is that your mind is actually going to see the world different. It's going to, your standards for completion are going to raise, and you're going to become a completer. You're a completer. That's going to become your identity. Is a doer and a completer. Resourceful, fast, determined, all these things. And you're going to, your self-worth and value in the conversation is going to change in your mind, and you're going to say, hey, I think I'm going to do this. And your other self, who's usually a gremlin, because he has a lot of rights to be a gremlin, is going to say, you know what? You said you were going to do a bunch of that one day, and you did it. So, I think maybe you can do whatever you want to do. I think you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. I think you can earn whatever you... Let's do it. Let's go for it. When that conversation gets aligned, you become so dangerous. You become so lethal. You become so powerful. You'll astonish yourself, like Edison says. I think it was Edison who said if you did everything you could, if you achieved everything you were capable of, you would literally astonish yourself. I think it was Edison. It might have been Einstein, but I think it was Edison. And it's true. This is the start of that. So submit that, and then if you do a second day, come back again and submit a new form. And then if you do a third day, submit it again. I'm going to tally stuff up. And then our graduation event will be Wednesday, February 20th at 8 p.m. And it'll be called the $1 Million Days, 500 Years of Achievement Celebration. There's the link. and come ready to share some stuff. Come ready to share your experience. It'll be really interactive, and we're just going to basically glorify each other's actions, and it's going to spur on and release a lot of creativity. So that's the deal, gang. Raise your hand if you got value out of tonight. I certainly got value from you guys. The interaction was awesome. You guys were awesome. Let's see how many people are all in for at least $1 million day. Let's see. We're at about 76. I'd like 100. I'd like 100 on here more than anything. William's up for it. Previous comments. Layla's of course Layla's all in. Layla doesn't do anything not all in. Okay? We could be like, Layla, let's go get some bananas. And she would be enthusiastically loving getting those bananas. Layla goes all in. And that's what I love about Layla. Peter Larson's all in. Becky, Leslie, Sally, good to see you. Look at all these likes we're getting. I'm getting a lot of likes. Dudley's loving everything. Drew's all in. Stevie, Brenda. Brenda, I want to know about this. Oh, faux show. Brenda's in faux show. Nicole. Coop is in the house. Danger. Thompson's all in. Julie, all in. Ella, Eric, Randy. Jared, all in. You know what? I'm all in. I should put that for myself. I think I just deleted everything. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. Anyway, okay, here's the deal. Love you guys. We are so done here that it's not even funny. We are so done. 82. Oh, come on. 12 more of you. Get over to this page so I can rest. 100%. We got to get 12 more. What is it? 12 or 18? We got to get 18 more people to go in and say that they're all in on this for all 3 days. Julie's in for all 3 days. Monica is going for it. Diane is all in. John Laney's all in. Brian Murphy, my $1 million days, all in. $1 million to-do list. Sally. All right, are we almost there? All right, so in closing, I feel like we should be hitting this any second now. 88, 12 more. Ugh, 12 more, my friends. Report on this, and like I said, I'm searching out the coolest kind of like mini diploma recognition kind of like I want to get, because your stories are going to inspire us. 9 more! 9 more! Oh, William Rapp is all in again. That's the spirit. Hijacking the system. You guys are killing me. Okay, we're almost all there. William, are you all in? Oh, yeah, you're all in twice. All right, any other questions in my question area there? Let me know if you have any questions. Stevie, password. If you, let's see, getglobalhelp@gmail.com, Stevie, and we'll get you the password for the bonus page. If you didn't, you should have it in your email. Check your spam. But getglobalhelp@gmail.com is customer service. 7 more posts by others. I don't know why this isn't refreshing in real time, but I think we're gonna hit 100 and then I'll be happy. And 92. Oh my gosh, what happened? We've stagnated on 92. Yeah, fire me if there's any other questions. 93, we're almost there. Okay, password. Solomon CEO journal. How can I get one? You know, here's the thing. We were low on inventory, and I just got a brand new logo that's slicker than the existing one. I mean, it's really slick. We dumped a significantly. It's subtle. Wow, is that funny? It's subtle, but this new logo. This is the first time it's going public. You guys are gonna see it right now, because we're making silver coin. We're doing all sorts of crazy things with Solomon in the very, very near future. But let me show you this thing, because I'm pretty proud of it. So the new logo, it's not it's the green, it's not showing up. It's supposed to be silver, but the lion's on the shield now, and it's 3-dimensional, and there's a shine on the lion. So this is going to replace the existing logo, where the lion's a little not, it's still cool, but it's not as cool. So anyway, we're basically reordering a billion of these things, and then I'll do, I'll make them available. So know that, and thank you. Did we hit 100 and then we're out of here? Okay, I know it's getting late. It's over. It's over. It's over. Let's just see if we can all celebrate this 100 here. 97. Oh my gosh. Get people testing the sell product to sell goods. Blah, 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 all in. 97. We are so close. Please, please like. Okay, Priscilla, great question. It was in the spam. Yeah. So if your password, if you don't have it, check spam. That is not an encouraging thing to hear that it went to spam. 7 more all-in posts. I found many of the things to do. Either I have much time. Okay, great question. Sally says, a lot of the things that I have to do require money. I got this earlier too. Here's the best I can do to get you to where you want to go on this one is the ones that require money. So like house projects and landscaping things and things that legitimately cost money. Here's what I'd say. I would say on the to-do, I would schedule the estimate. Okay, some of you have been thinking about redoing your yard and you think it's going to be 15 grand, but you don't know. Just call for the free estimate. Call for the free estimate on what it'll be to bring in new garage doors, or call what it'll be to estimate what it'll cost to paint the house. Just get the free estimate. It'll move you closer to the reality. It'll move you just like with the dental work. If you know you can't afford the amount of dental work you're going to have, just get the estimate. Go in, pay the 80 bucks, the 100 bucks, get your teeth x-rayed, get the whole thing down, and just get the estimate. And just the simple fact of you walking forward, it's an act of faith. You're literally walking forward saying, you know what, I don't know how it's going to happen. It's going to happen, though. It's going to happen. Glover is going to call Chuck Norris because Glover is personal friends with Chuck Norris. And if you guys don't do these $1,000,000 days, Chuck Norris will interfere with your life. Glover, just wanted to let everybody know. But raise your hand if that makes sense, everybody, with the if it costs money, price it out. Find out what it really costs, because the boogeyman of what you think it's going to cost might be radically different than what it's actually going to cost. And then the other thing, though, let me give you a case in point. Prepare it so it's okay. For instance, you got let's do this. You're going to get a new in the corner room that you don't use that much. You're going to get a new nice chair and a new nice lamp. But right now you have this chair that every time you look at, it makes you want to puke, and the lamp, light bulb's off, and it's tattered. Here's what you do. You take this and you get rid of it. You open up that space and maybe throw a magazine down there and start putting a little dream board in that spot instead. Hey, this chair maybe, this chair. Start, printing off things from the internet, and you're going to start inviting that space to be filled with what you want instead of the crap that's there. So as much as you can afford to do, which is maybe print out a picture, I mean, maybe that's corny, maybe don't do that. I don't care what works for you. Figure out something that works for you, but move actively in the direction of that which you want all the time, at all times. For instance, with a private jet, I will tell you how crazy intention is. Raise your hand if you want to hear my closing story on becoming a billionaire and just how powerful intention is and how weird it is. And I'm telling you, it's the craziest thing. On stage at Unstoppable, I mentioned becoming a billionaire, and I stopped on stage in front of 400 or 500 people, and I said, "No, I don't want to become a billionaire, because that's not what that's okay." And I just like dropped the subject and moved on to something else. And afterwards, somebody came up to me, really insightful, intuitive girl, and she said, "Mark, I know a couple billionaires, and they have the most lifestyle freedom and the most fun of anybody I've ever met. They're healthy, they're flexible, they're fun, they go and they travel." And she said, "Why would you not want to be a billionaire?" And now I'm not saying I want to be a billionaire, but I was completely closed off to the subject of being a billionaire. It was all out of my mind. Completely, raise your hand if you feel me. Like for some of you, it's a millionaire, and you're like, oh no, not a millionaire. They pay too much in taxes, and oh my gosh, people are out to get them, and they're liable for all these things, and oh my gosh, they got to work so hard, and no freaking way, not a billionaire. I'll just be six figures. So all of us are at that different level, and some of you think of six figures, and you go, oh no, not six figures. No, that's greedy. I don't need six figures. Those people, oh no, I just need 5,000 a month in my life. So I've been at every single one of these levels, but here's the power of just intention and opening your mind to something. So she mentions this billionaire deal, and I'm like, and she persuades me though. I'm like, okay, because I thought Richard Branson, and I have some friends that have spent time with him now, and Dillard spent time with him, Mike, and others, Joe Paul, a lot of people, I mean, Richard is extremely accessible to small business people like us who are innovators and driven. Well, anyway, so I just opened the idea that I'm open to it. Okay, fine. I am not against it anymore. I'm open to it. Raise your hand if you get the distinction. I'm not against it. I'm not saying I'm for it, but I'm open. I'm open to being a billionaire. I was, for some reason, just adamantly against it. She opens my mind to it. So in the last week, and this is, I'm not making this up, I had a friend who uh, who said, do you know so-and-so, who's a leader in a certain niche? And I said, yeah, I know him. And he said, well, I have a billionaire friend that I'd like you to connect him to. And this billionaire thing's brand new to me. I've never cared at all. And he's like, yeah, I have a billionaire friend, and he would love to have you connect him to this guy who's in this other industry, but he doesn't, he wants to get to that guy, but he doesn't know how, and I know you know that guy. So all of a sudden, I just out of nowhere, this billionaire conversation shows up. Now, I don't. This is not about money to me. This is just about an openness of mind that is just wild. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I set the connection up, and then I'm listening to ilovemarketing.com. Those podcasts are some of the best in the world. They're free podcast. Almost every day I listen to ilovemarketing.com with Joe Polish and Dean Jackson. And Dean Jackson was, because in my mind, a billionaire meant you're working 24/7. That's all you're doing. Raise your hand if that kind of is what you think about. If you think of a millionaire, you're thinking 24/7 work. Just all they do is work. They have to work, 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 work. All they can do is work, work, work. And that was my mindset with what a millionaire meant. So a billionaire was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be working that much. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to have to walk into an office and have 1,000 people, and I don't want 50 employees. I don't want 100 employees. I don't want any employees. I don't want like no employees. I don't want to be a billionaire. Well, I'm listening to ilovemarketing.com, and Dean Jackson was talking about how R.K. Rowling, is that how you say her name, the Harry Potter chick? I think she's a billionaire, right? Raise your hand if she's a billionaire, if you know she's a billionaire, or if she's like the richest British ever. I think she's the first, yeah, she was the first billionaire in the UK. And Dean said he bought the Harry Potter books, and he set them in his office because she became a billionaire from writing books. That was it. Like, she's not sitting there in Hollywood like creating the Harry Potter scenes and all that stuff. Everything was leveraged out. Everything was activating artists and producers and like the Harry Potter theme land. She wasn't involved in any of that. She was receiving royalty from her creation, which is a box of books. And so this conversation with the billionaire, and then this R.K. Rowling thing, and I start thinking to myself, or however you say her name, and I literally think to myself, this billionaire model isn't as insane, and my notions of what a billionaire is different. It's becoming educated now. I'm actually becoming educated and informed, and the billionaire space is starting to come around me. And it was just so crazy. Raise your hand if you just kind of feel what I'm saying. It's just, as soon as you open your mind to something, it just changed. I mean, you begin to invite that stuff. So until my mind was open, the invitation wasn't coming. Once your mind opens, and so for some of you right now in this moment, it would be good to just open your mind to the six-figure conversation and say, yeah, okay, yeah, let's see what happens. For some of you, it's $1 million conversation, and say, I'm open to it. Did you know millionaires, like, you want to know Jonathan, Bud, and I's lifestyle? I mean, we will work really hard, and then we'll take such immense amounts of time doing virtually nothing. It's embarrassing. So a billionaire, I'm just imagining like more months of that. But some of you just opening the mind to invite that kind of stuff. So I'm going to leave you on that kind of thing. And I'm going to say clearing your mind and getting space for that by a massive all out effort on a millionaire day can bring it to fruition. So with that, oh man, we got to wrap this thing up. It's official. I'm going to see if we hit 100 yet because I really wanted to. And if we hit 100 comments in that thing, I'm going to feel like we won the day. And did we? 102. Oh my gosh. Victor and Mike Dudley helped contribute. All right, raise your hand if you got value, and we're out of here. We're out of here. The recording should be around tomorrow at some point. And gosh, you know what? Okay, here's my last idea. It's my last freaking idea. And be very serious about this because just for me, because we'd have to do a little bit of work to make this happen. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just throwing it out there to get a temperature. If we turn this recording into a $37 affiliate product that paid $20 a sale. So if you sent it out and said, "Hey, I did this thing. I'm doing these $1 million days. They're awesome." We gave you $20 a sale. Raise your hand if you give it a 2-3 day really solid promotion to your Facebook fans and friends and list. And I'm not if you don't want to, I don't care, but we're not going to do it unless like we get a pretty that would be crazy. Okay, we might go crazy with this. I'll decide tomorrow morning. I'll sleep on it. But I appreciate Aisha and Alom and all you guys. You're amazing. We might turn this into just a quick, espresso caffeine thing. Pay 20 on a 37 and rally more people because I know we can get 1,000 years taken care of. But what if we could get 10,000? I mean, how sweet would that be? All right, game over. Love you guys.